The Ballad of a False Prophet by Isaac Torres. A man stood in the sun on the steps of a courthouse, a preacher who, for the past 2 nights, on a cot in a jail, waited for the day so he could begin again, walk in the world preparing his way. When the gate slid agape, he sang under his breath, "Against the odds, against the flood, a little fish pushes a little bit more. Against the God, against the blood, a ram in the bush, stone threshing floor. Once in a while when the fox is out, the pale moon cries aloud for the husband's heart to be thrashed about and the humble wife made proud. Against the grain, against the light, your hand is moved away. Against the pain, against the fight, a man is moved to pray." The man walked downtown by a fountain where the vet sat and smoked and clapping his hands. The fallen prophet rambled in verse and song. "Come, little wonder, hear why your worry is done." One by one, people came to crowd in the space around the fountain to watch and laugh and doubt the sight of his bold roost. Atop a stone statue of the town's father, there, by the bus mall, the justice hall, and the precinct tank that kept the drunks overnight, and he sang and he rhymed. Beautiful and real low. Something sings like the lives of wild things, a sullen, small delight. At dawn in the home, darkness seems right. Stolen moon, silent night. Where else will you wander, lost daughter, lost son? Where does one saunter when the dance is done? What more can I bury in this barren, broken heart? Without you I tarry, I fall apart. The man prayed then before the crowd, sang, "Lord, come tango today and shape with us into the crumbs of your bread of life." He called for an offering, hat in hand, and smiled in charm, gold twinkling. The man left town, striding in the street, and with plans, new plans. "It's a new season," he proclaimed, "new plans." He aimed to forget the mistakes, lives he made. He left them to die, there by a freeway in a woman's arms, who looked up for his face from time to time, for another lyric from a ghost in the barrio. The man would croon to the winos under a bridge when the train slowed by. I don't know now, I didn't know then, but always I wondered just where she'd been. Mi amor, where did she take my heart? Where did she take the kids? He shook his head, muttered in tongues, then barked like a vendor in downtown L.A. "Prepare the way!" Like in downtown L.A., "Prepare the way!" Y como órale, y pásale. 5 pesos, 5 pesos. Pásale. He marched past the bums into the rail yard, fell down by the way, in the wasteland where he had always done, with his thoughts of the Lord and his sons, and the loss that had come when the wine came and he convicted the songs that he had sung, the moon and the gun. His only friends in my shadow has lied to you again. Mi amor, how will my pony know to stop when your scent begins? He wept as he walked, but he climbed to the peak above a peninsula where he had gone before, and he spoke and he speak. He stopped before hearing from God. He saluted the sea. He tilted back down to his knees, watching and praying, calling for the woman, his last love, the last one left for the war in his blood, for the lie of freedom, for his own selfish worth, a lying man, a faceless incarnate of everyday betrayal of men who rushed for gold, men who were fooled on the trail, men who were worse than infidels. He tried to stand but stumbled. He said, "Help," and none heard. He tried to say, "Hallelujah," but it came out, "Help," and he fell flat again to his back with his legs draped over the edge atop the tilted peninsula, and he sang, "Wandering the night, calling the fold alone. Down from the gallows, he's roaming the valley in shadows alone. I'll go step for step in the shadow of the shepherd alone in the vineyard, the valley, to the top of the mount. I'm going home. At dawn, the man walked down to the beach by the strand, and he sang to those who passed by. None stopped. He sang a song about a trumpet of truth, the last days, the ignorant youth. He sang about a dinghy in the sea, floating alone in an endless line above the faces of waves and over the crest, and how over time the once strong rope that tied the boat to shore had frayed and broke and fallen down off the bow, snaking down slow, deep into dark and cold where things don't grow. When the walkers, joggers, and beachcombers had gone, the man crawled beneath the blue wooden perch of a lifeguard post in torrents and prayed. He watched the bent line of the sea where the sun was sinking, and he winced at the curse on his life, his name, his office, the prophet, his strength, and he sang, in a bone, little death, in a breath, little home, my flesh is come down like the wall. Jericho, can I be yours, my Lord? Hear my call as I fall and I fall. The liar later came unto a farm not far from the shore. He climbed unto a fence that kept a small group of beasts. The time is nigh, little friends, when our very breath will be weighed, so choose ye this day. Pointing down to a cock and a dog, he saw a few that might still hear his call, and he called across the acre, all of the world. The ignorant livestock in the farm was a fine flock of audience, and the vagabond, the fraud, began a tune. Apples on the perch, arrows in the sleeve, a bounty is the worth, the longing in me. Man under the fence, scattered trash again. A home is surely missed, a woman for the man. A home is surely missed, a woman for the man. And the drum came apart at the end. The hound crooned too, though, and a moon shone on the mound, and a man's brown toes hang down from the small wall around the land, and then came bounding across the lot, and the dog licked and licked the man's little wounds, made from his walk, from his broken locket of promise and the wasted years. So he sang, long way to go, left for this boy, long time ago, left my home. Couldn't have called it, couldn't have seen all of this pain and all of this dream. Still in my bottle, still in my sin. Couldn't have known it way back when. The longer he sang, the less he felt claimed by the crook of debt. The life he had left long ago in a town, in a house, a woman, a heart, her edge of the world, looking for that girl, looking for that little pearl of light, out by the glow where my lost step goes at last at night. And then the hypocrite, he thought about his boys, the hope he threw away that day by the train in LA. That day like a dream now, like an old forgotten poem, an incomplete song on his hard, dry tongue. The man and his fables were wasted vanity. Away, escape away, what more do I need? Washing these hands at sea in the rain, the stars are hidden, the moon is gray. Away, I've gone away, what more can I be? Little do I need, a little more is all to help me escape the siren's call. Away, escape, away. The man left the farm, and he wandered into a wood just outside of the town where his boys were raised. And then 10,000 miles away from a day of restoration, and he cried unto the Lord. He said, Behold, let colors of darkness come down upon me. Let not the sun shine in my day, nor the stars at night. Let it be that I be left alone, that I be broken down slow, that I bow down before thee, that I be blown from this ground, flown from here, that I be found anew. Let it be that thee who knew me, thee who made me, come calling to me. Let my wound be open, my chosen be broken. And he said, Behold, let it be that thee be my hope. After pressing his head to the earth and covering his skin in the ash of an old fire, he rose in a light into the sky as a lamp unto his feet, wiping his eyes, gaunt in face and freed in heart. The man shuffled away, his hat falling from hand, singing as he walked across the land. How about one more time around the trail and up to the top of the great big hill? How about we climb all the day through like we used to cry, just me and you? Do you remember that day? Do you remember that time when the good Lord healed your heart and mine? So why don't we go back to the peak of old Mount Sinai to hear him speak?